Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. That is sound of the Lord Blakey there saying thanks to the police. And of course, this morning we're chatting with the TTPS. We have representing the TTPS this morning, Acting Sergeant J.C. Small of the Community Oriented Policing Section, aka COPS. Good morning to you, Sergeant.
Pleasant morning. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Thank
nice
you very
to have
much.
you on. All right, so what do you guys do at COPS?
Well, community policing is really a philosophy and an organizational strategy that promotes partnership between the public and the police. And the three core elements of community policing is really community partnership, organizational transformation, and problem solving. So it's really about proactive policing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are the same team responsible for like the police youth clubs and stuff like that.
Yes, the police youth clubs fall under the community policing section. Yes.
All right.
I wanted to know, Sergeant, about the school intervention team. Because, of course, the minister would have announced that we have certain community police, at certain high-risk schools. Yeah. So how does that work?
Well, to be honest, since 2017, the community police particularly started a multi-sectoral approach in terms of dealing with school violence. So we have had stakeholders like Fathers Association,
right.
Mr. Fields, and I came up with that. We have working together, and we had meetings and discussions to really identify the root causes of some of the problems that were taking place in the school. And in terms of the SARA model, scanning, analyze, responding, and assessing, it's important for you to really identify root causes to crime and criminal behavior, so that you could come up with real solutions together. So that was the approach behind that.
Yeah.
And recently, because of the recent upsurge in school violence, we decided to continue that approach in terms of the multi-sector coming together, proactively doing stuff in the schools. We have the Special Investigations Unit at the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, where we go and do targeted lectures, because each schools may have different issues. Sexual misconduct, we might bring in rapport, NARAP, National Drug Council,
right.
all dependent on the type of issues in the school,
How do you guys get to the root of the issues in the individual schools?
I mean, when you go to the school, so for example, I realize some of the activities in the community, some of the conflicts in the community coming into the schools, the little tough vibes and the borderline kind of vibes, because they belong to a different part of the community, when they come to school, it's the same type of behavior. So, that's why we recently had a conversation with the with Mediation, Community Development and Sport, the Mediation Department, to really work with us, to work with the student support services, to really address some of these issues and teach people how to resolve conflicts peacefully.
Have you seen that happen? Have you seen it have you seen the difference in the students after doing those sessions?
Definitely. When you talk to them, reason with them one-on-one and get them a different perspective, because remember, sometimes based on where they live in, they're being negatively influenced, and we have the opportunity to really befriend them, engage them, and show them a better way. Yeah, so that's where all these stakeholders come in, the Single Mothers Association, and all these stakeholders come to promote a positive narrative. And
what is the initial reception like when you go into schools? Because I know the same thing you're saying, right? In some of these communities, is negative reinforcement all the time, and most of that negative reinforcement is against the police sometimes. Yeah. How are you guys met when you come into a school?
Yeah, there's only love, that's the community. Community policing is the heart of policing. So to see our officer in uniform, being a friend, it's something that we want to promote. It's something that some of the youths not accustomed to, based on some of the communities we live in. And I mean, thanks to the Commissioner of Police and his executive, that they see the importance and the value in customer service and training, and the way that you talk to people. Even within the organization, is really important to treat people like people. And when it is the approach youngsters this way, and they approach the public this way, they're more receptive to want to work with you, because the public is an equal partner in terms of, treating with proactive crime prevention measures.
Now, Sergeant Small, I was reading about an awareness and development drive where it falls with I think it's the Justice Clinic in the community.
Right. So in 2017, to be honest, we started a whole approach where we go into the community to find out what are the root causes to crime. And we found in some cases, probably they needed lights. We brought in T&Tech, the municipal corporation, to assist with those type of problems in the community. And so too, we realized that there are conflicts in the community dealing with land, domestic issues, and we really started that type of approach before, since 2017, where we brought the stakeholders to the community, Ministry of Labour, Ministry of Legal Affairs, and Ministry of Social Development, tell people about the different grants available. So recently, through the Justice Clinic approach, again, the TTPS is going to the community with the resources through the police youth clubs, because we use the police youth club houses to host these clinics, but there's nothing new to us in the police service, and more so the central division.
And that's the thing that bothers me, I think, the most, is that all of these things have been in existence. You guys have been doing the work, you've been doing that part of it, but we still have a problem. we still have several problems. We're still seeing the violence in schools, still seeing violence in certain communities. What more do we need to do?
I think we need all hands on deck, because the police certainly can't do it alone, and everybody just have to play their role effectively. The society, the police, the other agencies, everybody, these NGOs, the stakeholders just need to continue working together and address the concerns together. Sit down around the round table, identify the problems, involve the community, and work hand in hand. And definitely we'd find better solutions. And and I want to draw reference to 2019 through the whole approach where we use the operational arms of policing, intelligence, problem-oriented policing, so much different aspects of policing we utilize, and we were able to reduce crime in the enterprise community by 87%. Murders, shootings, and violence crimes. And for the first time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, the police service won the IDB President's Award for service excellence in the public sector. We also brought some young men together from different rival gang communities within the enterprise area who couldn't go in the street on that street, brought them together, played football, and we won the first ever Commissioner of Police Football Cup. So we are showing you that goodness can be done, great things can be achieved, but we must work together to make it happen,
And I always wonder about that. Like you mentioned that football tournament, for example, right? And that is a great way of bringing the community together. Sports, music, we tend to realize these things are parts of our culture that we love, and it brings people together, right?
Yes.
But oftentimes we see people, or we hear about the heavy-handed approach of the police. Yes. Is it that we need to find a balance between the two? Because I'm sure that there's need for the heavy-handed approach at points in time.
I'm so happy you bring that up. I work task force and more operational units, and it is for people to come and say, Mr. Small, this man every night he coming out with the machine, he putting needles in here, he had the community under siege. I used to be real happy to go at criminals, with that iron fist, because I know they're outside here with guns, they're treating people like, So the police have to respond, and have to respond with the iron fist in those times. But sometimes we have to learn to convert the iron fist to handshake, because not the whole community behaving like that, and they can't treat the whole community like that. So you have to find a balance in terms of policing, and that is why the community policing philosophy, it's not only a philosophy, but you have to put it into action. You have to do some transformation, because it is also a core part, and that is why the police service in its current strategic plan using different approaches to policing: intelligence-led approach, problem-solving approach, evidence-based approach, and so too we must embrace the community policing approach.
Sergeant Small, I want to ask you this on a personal level, right?
Yes.
Is it difficult for you as a police officer to make that change from coming in with an iron fist to coming in with a shake hand?
Well, it wasn't difficult, because I realized the iron fist alone wasn't working. I was arresting the same people over and over and over, and then I realized you had to try something different. Had to think out of the box, and because a long time, to be honest, back in the days, I really wasn't too big on community policing, because I want to be outside it with a level of aggressiveness, because, criminals have the community under siege. But then that alone wasn't working. That alone cannot work. So that is why I came to the thinking that here we're going on. You had to find out, some of the root causes. Some people have real family issues, single parent homes. They're not working. They have drug issues. They're addicted. There's so many different root causes that you could look at, and that could lead to crime. And in the crime triangle, it have the opportunity, the victim, and the offender. And if it is you do things to do some target hardening with the victim, then they're less likely to be a victim of crime. And if it is you remove the opportunity, whether it's an environmental opportunity through SEPTED, crime prevention through environmental design, then you're more than likely. And then if the criminals know, you target them, you're able to arrest them and put them away, and the justice system do their part and the prison system do their part, it means that we could have a more effective Trinidad, a more prosperous Trinidad and Tobago, I should say.
Do you think we have opportunity to convert some of those people who would have been offenders, or is it just we put them away and hopefully?
No, you have to engage them, and that's why the police, the justice system, and the prisons must work together. And to be honest, when you talk to some of these people, and some of the criminals far gone, to be honest, but there are some I believe that you can work with, and that is why we have to be proactive and work with the young people too. And that is why the police youth club movement, and I want to say kudos to my colleagues in the community-oriented policing section who go out day in, day out, and just really work proactively to address concerns in terms of the young people in Trinidad and Tobago. We also brought on board recently through our community intervention patrol initiative, something that we came up with just real recent. Just work together. We involved the municipal police. I must say big up to ASP Lala and his team at the Shogunas Borough Corporation, in the Kuva, Inspector McDonald, both Mayor Faik Mohammed and Chairman Henry Awong. They're really in full support of this initiative. We have the traffic wardens working with us. We go into the schools, we do lectures, we create safe spaces. We have a homework center where we have online literacy program going on with Alta. We just finished our barbering, weaving and braiding course with White Up. We have a number of ongoing activities. We have our SHAPE, Sustainable Hydroponic Agriculture program for young entrepreneurs. We're about to launch really soon, and that is why I'm happy. I just see the guy from the chamber took his number, and he had to get on board and support,
of course,
you know.
Of course.
Talking about food sustainability and really equipping people with the skill. Because, I mean, sometimes the 9 to 5 alone, it ain't cutting it, you know.
No.
So better people do something law-abiding. Instead of selling marijuana, come and sell some tomatoes.
If you can grow marijuana, you can grow anything. You can grow tomatoes, all kinds of things.
Get into agriculture.
Exactly.
You definitely have the green thumb. But Sergeant Small, I mean, this is where we have to close, of course. Thank you so much. Every single Monday, we have somebody from the TTPS coming and sharing, and we do appreciate you coming in this morning.
No problem.
So
I appreciate all the acronyms that you all have as well.
All the acronyms. So many others.
Yeah, no, but seriously though, I appreciate the level of work that you guys have been doing, and I think it's maybe we need more publicity on some of the things that the TTPS does, because I think we only see the negative things that come up in the media all the time in the news, and the police killings and the this and the that, and it's always the iron fist part that we see. We don't get to see the shake hand very often.
You go onto the Central Division Community Police Facebook page, and we bring you up to scratch daily.
All right.
That's what we do.
All right.
And thanks to all the volunteers and stakeholders who assist us, and working behind the scenes, the engine room. I don't want to call all of them names.
No, we don't have time for that.
Big up the
whole engine room.
Big up the engine room.
Yeah, man. All right. Acting Sergeant J.C. Small joining us this morning to chat about community policing. I know he's representing COPS, the community-oriented policing section.
Yes.
Doing great work and continuing to do great work. Please keep it up. We look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, man. Take care. We take a quick break and we come back with more on the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.